Picture this. It's election season in the United States and world is watching closely. Among the many countries keeping an eye on the result is India. A report from Nomura, a global market research firm, suggests that if Donald Trump were to win the US presidency again, it might actually be a good thing for India. Hello and welcome to Times XP, and I'm Triti Atri. Now, India's economy is very different from many countries because it doesn't rely heavily on exports to fuel its growth. Instead of that, it's driven by the demand of its own massive population. And this makes India more resilient to the ups and downs of the global market, including any economic slowdown in the United States. Now, according to the report, if Donald Trump comes back in power, its policies might create some challenges, but they also bring new opportunity. One of the biggest advantages would be lower prices of commodities like oil, which India actually imports in large quantity. Trump's policy might push down global oil prices, and this could save India billions of dollars. Now, for years, global companies have been looking for alternatives to manufacturing in China. The pandemic and trade war have shown that relying too much on one country's supply chain can be actually really risky. Then enter India. With its vast workforce and growing infrastructure, India is in prime position to benefit from this shift. Now, Trump's tough stance on China means that more companies might move its manufacturing to India. Now, this trend is already picking up speed, with several large companies setting up operations in India as well. The report suggests that under a Trump presidency, this momentum could increase even further, helping Indian economy grow faster and faster. But of course, not everything would be really smooth sailing. Trade friction between India and the United States is likely to reappear. India currently has a trade surplus with the US, meaning that it exports more to the United States than it imports. In 2023, this surplus was about $32 billion, which could draw Trump's attention. So, if Trump decides to impose tariff or other measures, it could mean that things are a bit more difficult for Indian businessmen to export to the United States. But according to the report, these short-term issues would be outweighed by the long-term benefits of increased investment and supply chain relocation to India. Now, one area where India might face challenge under Trump's presidency is migration. That's an evergreen topic. When Indian nationals account for more than 72% of H-1B visas that allow skilled workers to work in the United States, especially in the tech sector that we are talking about. Trump has focused primarily on illegal migration, but there's always the risk that he might tighten the rule for legal immigration as well. And this could make it harder for Indian professionals, particularly in tech we are talking about, to work in the United States. However, many Indian companies have already adjusted by hiring more local workers in the US, so the impact might not be as severe as it could have been a few years ago. Now, on the global stage, India and the US share common goals, particularly when it comes to China. Now, both countries see each other as important allies in countering China's growing influence. Trump's approach to foreign policy, which is less focused on promoting human rights and democratic values, might actually reduce the chance of any political clashes between the United States and India. Additionally, Trump's softer stance on Russia could work in India's favor, as India has strong ties with Moscow, particularly in terms of defense and energy cooperation. Now, in conclusion, India is in a strong position to handle any potential conflict that is caused by change in the United States policy. With its large foreign exchange reserve, which stood at around $600 billion in 2024, and its steady economic growth, India is well prepared to face any challenge that comes its way.
सो फ्रेंड्स, आपने देखा कि भारत के प्रधानमंत्री की बहुत एक अच्छी दोस्ती है डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के साथ, और अगर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप फिर से अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति बनते हैं तो भारत के लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि पीएम मोदी की बहुत अच्छी एक केमिस्ट्री है उनके साथ। और दोनों ने जब पहले भी दोनों अपने अपने देशों के राष्ट्र अध्यक्ष थे तो बहुत अच्छे काम हुए थे, और आगे भी ऐसे ही होगा। होपफुली आपको आज का हमारा वीडियो अच्छा लगा होगा, और अगर आपको अच्छा लगे तो अपने सर्कल में से अवश्य शेयर करिएगा। और तब तक अगले वीडियो पर बाय। जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम, भारत माता की जय हो।